Alright, yins, guys. I'm going to show you this one to make a point because somebody already has something to say no matter what you say, even. And it'd be like them to say this to you, to your face in real life. But this is another person, of course, my rule. They have no content on their channel and you don't see any indication of what they do politically or anything that they do or what they're into. They don't have nothing on their channel, but yet they seem to have an authority over something you're saying. And here in my answer, and for you to look at this video, I don't know if I'll read the rebuttal to you. And every word of my rebuttal on this one, and I say this to you if any of you are my friends, and hey, a couple of you, to be fair, say if you're my friends and you've subscribed to me for good reasons, and maybe you say this in a way that's not really hurting anything, it's a little bit of criticism, and I don't want to alienate you either. I'd rather have you learn something from this, because since I took a lot of lessons from Ben Shapiro videos and read other books, so I would recommend you, if you didn't already, look at this video and say if any of you are my friends, or if any of you are not sort of my friends, you're on the fence or you don't really like me, I will grace you or anybody with the idea that maybe you can borrow from something I was saying here if somebody uses shit against you unfairly. And every word of this rebuttal is what I write in my writing in my book, and in a lot of writings and things. And it's something that if I want to, I can write a 3-page reason. My case for this is, okay, no matter what attitude you have or bias you have against me, or you want to be, or you're on the fence and you want to be fair with what I'm saying. And I'm also saying if you're friends with me and maybe you make a statement like this, it's not really hurting anything, you should learn something, say, from it. The statement itself can be taken, one way or another, whether you're a friend or an enemy, and I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm doing them a favor. I basically did a 2-page sermon with this, and I'd verbally tell you this too, because what I picked up off of Ben Shapiro videos, and my art of doing speeches, mind you, isn't perfect either, and people will be gladly to point that out, but if you got this far in this video without me beating around the bush here and just to the point. The case of being repetitive, okay, I should have said that in the first place before I started yammering in this video. Well, you hear on talk shows, okay, or any other speeches. Oh, okay, and especially speeches from the people that represent the far right will say this to the far left, Everything they want to indoctrinate you with is repetitive. Well, and the left will accuse that of the far right, repetitive. Well, they're both right. And when you see that, you gotta wonder what else is left. Yeah. So, gotta keep that in mind. If people say something like this, and if you read my big sermon on this, should I read it to you? You know what, you can go ahead and read itself. If I can do a separate video, I don't want this to be like a 90-minute long video. I just might do a separate video and read it straight to you. If you're one of those maybe haters that are like, you write little comments like that, maybe even you'll write small comments back and forth, but yet you're too fucking lazy to read a bunch of what I'm saying, which I regard as basic reason. That's what I look at too. Say if you don't read some of this, whether I say it a 3 or 4-page thing verbally in the video, or whether I say it in a whole long text like this. That's 2 types of people. Types of people They'll make a face out of you if you make a long-ass statement to them. Well, but they can make their long-ass statements to you. You're going to make the same faces at them as they make at you. But isn't there something in between? Somebody can say something half as long and let the other one listen. And in a way, there's an innuendo of any person that says shit like this to your face. All right, say they're an authority over you somehow, or some kind of rank over you in some workplace, or whether they're black or white, or they have something socially over you, and they say it just to look down on you. And especially if they're some kind of pseudo-authority or authority over you, they also have this innuendo statement. Pay attention to this. Whether they outright say those words or not, and sometimes they do, they'll say things like, quote, "You do not talk. Listen." Yeah, somebody on authority saying shit like this they'll also be the ones that say, "Do not talk. Listen." You'll hear a 3 or 4 page shit for them. And yeah, if you want to, okay, I will not talk. I will listen. Okay, I'm listening. And their mentality after they're done talking, and if you were to, for example, after you heard her, they're talking after they said to you, "Do not talk, listen." Okay, you're done talking, right? Is it my turn? And there's also an indication they don't want to hear anything you have to say, They will totally, in so many different ways, that why you should shut up or either get out of their office or get out of their presence or shit like that. It happens with people, whether it's people the same race as you or a different race as you, and they'll play their cards against you. And if it's somebody that's a different race as you, they will try to play their card, and then if you get the best of them some kind of way or say something even neutral or snarky or something like that gets under their skin, they'll turn around and use that card against you, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And they'll try to turn people of the other race against you at some workplace or whatever. But if you established friends in a decent way, say it's in a workplace or even somewhere outside of workplace, if you established some kind of decent friendship with neighbors or people in workplace of other races, they ain't trying to hear that shit anyway. They ain't stupid. And sometimes they'll be so narcissistic enough to do it in front of friends of yours that happen to be of the other race, thinking that those people are obliged to side with them because of whatever. But then people the same race as you do the same thing. If I'm just saying examples here, they can, they can be somebody that knows the police, or somebody that gets the police, and it'll be somebody that's police that gets to you, and you try to politely say something, you know what I mean, and you get... I can go on and on about the innuendo of such statements here. So, to end this, I'm actually basically telling you to end this with something like this. Everything everybody on every side tries to sell you is fucking repetitive to start with. So with a statement like this, it goes hand with... When somebody gives a statement like this to you, it goes hand in hand with the other statement. Do not talk. Listen. You shut up. And not only that, after they're done talking, when they're saying do not talk, listen, after they're done talking, in some cases, you're not allowed to have your turn. You can actually say, am I allowed to have my turn? And yeah, what I said is repetitive through that video, but I want to remind you of that again, because everybody else's shit is repetitive. And I just love statements like this that prompt me to say a speech, because my problem is, like, say, if I hear about something about a political thing, and I want to go and do a video or say in front of a bunch of people, oh, I'm going to talk to you about, and then it gets like, duh. I have to have a thing to work off of. Comments like this on YouTube are one example. But if it's not on YouTube, and if I say it in front of a bunch of people, I'll work off of something so and so said, and dovetail into what somebody, like whether something Ben Shapiro said, or somebody on a radio said, and compare it to it, or some celebrity that has some shitty views or good views, or one way or another. This goes hand in hand too. If you are both black or white, and you want to challenge things that are said to you by either the people the same race as you or the other race, and say you swear a little bit, you're from the streets a little bit, and you're not no fucking Ivy League, perfect punctuation, perfect grammar, I say you don't need that. The bad grammar applies, because sometimes even preaching in a church, if you're black or white and your grammar isn't perfect, depending on where you are, different street sayings and ways of talking, I say to you, you can write and preach a certain way, because if it's communicating people with other ways, you know what I mean? Not that I'm bashing or putting down the fancy grammar master either, but, and again, people will play that card. All right, that's it with this video. You get the gist, because when each of these things you can make a separate, talk on. You can make these subjects as standalone videos and talks. You know what I mean?